The following video is dedicated to the legendary Stan the Man Lee, who taught us that instead of becoming something else, one man can make a difference. Rest in peace, Stan Lee. Excelsior!
Red Dreaded Entertainment, what is up, guys? It's your boy Akasan. Happy Veterans Day, I believe that's what it was. And among other things, unfortunately, sorry about the delay and everything with this video coming out. It might be for Patreon. You guys are getting this maybe a little later than usual. Was having some problems sleeping due to the untimely passing of Stan Lee, Stan the Man. So rest in peace, and he's definitely within the legions of Valhalla right now. Anyways, we're going to do our best just to get through the day. He wouldn't want us to be all down or whatever. Let's get ready for the latest episode of Arrow. Oliver was in prison. Still in prison doing the damn thing. We found out a huge bombshell that Felicity is dead in the future, which I doubt a bit. I mean, anything can happen. I don't think she's dead though. I think they're saving it. It's so on the nose obvious, the kind of situation that I feel like they're gonna be doing more to that. So let's see what it's all about, and let's get into it here. If you want the full reaction, make sure you check out Patreon. If you want the edited reaction, make sure you check out Patreon. Well, I mean, there's early access and all that. And let's just go ahead and get into the goddamn thing. And thank you for all your comments. By the way, did you guys know that Black Canary, or I'm assuming that's Black Siren or Black Canary, the Zoe, future Zoe, is played none other than Veronica Sixtos's sister. Veronica Sixtos, who you might know from the reaction community a long time ago, used to date Greg Alba. And that's some crazy shit, isn't it? I didn't know that until a fan let me know. And then I called Veronica, and she was like, oh, did that episode air already? She's been in Canada filming. I'm like, holy shit! So it's legit, and hopefully, if we're lucky, boys and girls, we'll try and get her on the channel, on the show, and go one-on-one with the Red Dreaded one. All right, here we go. The latest episode of Arrow. You have failed this city. Let's go. Starts now.
My name is Inmate 4587.
A lot of you guys think he's faking. It's possible. Shit.
When in Rome, right? Do you want some? You should have some.
Actually, I'm diabetic.
Oh, okay. Don't listen.
And I was referring to the intel we got from that mission.
Choking motherfuckers out.
What you came for?
Oh!
Totally.
Anatoly! Oh no, you dropped my Anatoly! I don't know what that was. Alright guys, here you have it. That was the latest episode of Arrow. Pretty goddamn good. Considering today's circumstances, I was filling that up. I enjoyed that episode. I liked it a lot. And here we go here. We basically open up with the bracelets situations. I like how they put that implication in there because it kind of came full circle. Talia chopped the fuck out of that dude. She put some stank on it. Like, she was mad. She was just like, ah! Like, I thought she was gonna use him to like create new Legion of Shadows, or Legend of no, what? League of Shadows, or League of Assassins, give or take, whichever you want, and or some shit like that. But no, it wasn't that. That was not the case. She was just fucking mad. She swung that shit like vengeance. But it was cool to actually see Talia back in there. That was cool. Like, so we were basically right. It makes sense. Like, we thought it was going to be Ra's al Ghul, or I thought it was going to be Ra's al Ghul. I'm glad it wasn't some whack-ass dude, or like that little white munchkin sidekick dude, and he'd turn around and be like, I'm the demon. Like, fuck that shit. I'm glad it was actually an all ghoul, because that's the close. I mean, if it was Raz, that would have been something. Him coming back and shit, but I guess it does downplay the fact that Talia has this sort of thing against them. See, I've always thought that Raz Al Ghul is immortal. Like, I always thought that he was gonna come back eventually, somehow, some way. Because especially in the comics, like, they chop that motherfucker up, they kill him and everything, and he always has a way of coming back. I think in the comics he's actually dead too, but they tend to bring him back somehow, some way, right? If he does come back or whatever, if there is a continuity problem, just blame it on Barry. Other than that, actually, interesting enough, the Felicity and Laurel pairing was actually, our Earth 2 Laurel was actually worked fairly well. Like, in the sense that they're the odd couple. I like that kind of mixture of being the odd couple. It works well off each other. Like, I think in some ways, Earth 2 Laurel is like a good amount of the fandom, the way they view Felicity, and it's kind of like them working with each other kind of keeps Felicity a little smoother pace and not so corny all the time. I suppose. Like, it keeps her down to a minimum instead of making these long-winded speeches. Earth 2 Laurel just like, fuck it, let's do it. Come on, let's go. Shut up, let's just do it, right? So I kind of like that pairing. Dr. Parker having his dude thing, that was actually really cool to see that. I thought maybe we might see something more from Patient Goodman. I don't know if we've seen that character previously, because Felicity seemed to have some sort of idea about it. And other than that, the other thing to wrap around here is about empathy. That was a long-running theme here with the episode, and particularly, you know, we've talked about the fact that the professor, or the doctor, he was making sense about Oliver's situation, his journey. And here's the only problem I have here is, because he was making so much sense, I hope a lot of his thought, because he ended up being a bad person or whatever, I hope that doesn't get overshadowed. Like, his lessons and what he was trying to tell Oliver is actually true. Regardless if he ended up being evil or not, what he was telling Oliver was true. And I think Oliver kind of absorbed some of that. I saw him kind of struggling with that in that last conversation that they had before he went to go get lobotomized or whatever, right? I think Dr. Parker actually has fair enough intentions on helping. He's just kind of like, I don't think he's as far gone as like Hugo Strange, where he just wants to create crazy ass people. But I think part of him does want to reform Oliver and fix his mistakes, or his father's mistakes. And I think Oliver has awareness of it. But like he said, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it my way. Like that, and all that shit, right? My way. And that was kind of cool to see, but I do hope he learns about that. And there was a lot of talk about this idea of hiding in the shadows and creating two different people, right? And that was an ongoing theme with Talia. Kept on saying you need to separate yourself like that. And Oliver blames Talia a bit for that, creating the vigilante and then keeping the two separate. It's something that Batman sure doesn't have a problem with most of the time, right? But I think that's what's interesting, is that we do see that version of Batman come play into the light with his identity. Oliver Queen and Green Arrow are both in the public now as one and the same, and it is interesting to see. You know, I don't think that's something Batman would be able to deal with, and I call him Batman because it's like, to Bruce, there is only Batman. I think most people would argue the fact that most people would say, even Kevin Conroy has said many times, that Bruce Wayne is actually the mask. Bruce Wayne is the mask and Batman is the real person. So if push comes to shove, Bruce Wayne that persona would be abandoned completely. And we've seen that many times, especially in the Injustice video game run, that Batman was like, fuck it, I don't need Bruce Wayne anymore. Like, that's it. We done with that shit, baby. It's Batman all day, motherfucker. I got money coming from the yin yang, whatever, right? So it's interesting to see how that works. Alright guys, I'm going to get on out of here. Let me know what you guys think about this episode below. If you want the full reaction, make sure you check out the Patreon below. And I will see you next week, okay? Rest in peace, Stan Lee. And I'll talk to you then. Peace. Excelsior!